Hey everybody, quick content warning from your editor this week. The videos featured on this week's TVOS feature family vloggers, and their treatment of their kids borders on the line of neglect and or abuse. So keep that in mind when watching the videos. Anyway, on to the show.
Welcome back to the Very Online Show, the show in which two extremely online people, chronically online, terminally online people, myself and Lucy James, introduce and educate one increasingly online person, Jeff Backlaw. Smile for the camera.
What was this like royal wave?
Because I'm increasing my online.
Oh,
I was bringing. This is a visual representation of my online.
It looks like you're trying to raise the dead. Something.
Yes. Well, it is that time of year. Is it
It is that time of the year.
yeah, that's true.
It is. Yeah. We teach Jeff what the hell is going on the internet, so then he can go back to his son and explain cool stuff that his son has learned in the school playground and seem cool.
It is cool. I appear cool to him. I also am now able to make very cool jokes on Quick Looks.
You did do that yesterday. I was very proud of you.
Thank you for noticing and humoring me. It was much appreciated.
It was hard not to notice because you went,
I was like, see what I did there? See, I got
for people who aren't familiar with the joke, can you repeat what the joke was?
We were doing a Far Cry 6 live stream, and there was a scene where the character woke up on the beach, and I proceeded to list off every old beach joke I could think of in about 15 seconds. I laid it on pretty thick, let me tell you.
It was impressive. I was very proud.
If you would like to see whether he was successful in landing those jokes, you can watch the quick look for Far Cry 6. Because this is not about video games. This is about being online.
Yes.
And depending on your perspective, this is either mine and Lucy's attempt to justify the brain rot we've got over the last many years in being online, or it's our attempt to convince ourselves we don't have brain rot and we've actually got important knowledge that we can bestow on other people.
Yeah.
This week's episode is going to be headed up by Lucy. Lucy, take it away. What you got cooking?
Yes, hello, it's me this week, and I saw something that I try and maintain a relatively positive attitude on the internet. I don't like dunking on things. Typically, if people or things annoy me, I just kind of won't engage. However, I saw something that like really, really bothered me, and I wanted to talk about it, and I felt that this was the vehicle in which to do so, as it is obviously an online phenomenon. So Jeff.
Oh dear. Are you okay?
That was an offline phenomenon.
Yeah, that was just physics.
I knocked over my water bottle, and then I knocked.
If you'd like to learn about physics, make sure you check out Back to School, another fine giant bomb show.
No, that is not a show for learning. Please do not misadvertise that. Yeah.
I knocked over my water bottle, and the clang you may have heard afterwards was my replica One Ring fell from my desk onto the floor.
Which is always at arm's reach for Lucy, as we know it needs to be.
It's like a fidget toy.
Sure.
I just put on the One Ring and pretend that I'm invisible from the
You
world.
just have to disappear. We get it.
Oh,
Anyway,
is that the cloak that Harry gets?
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Harry, yep.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, let's try and get back to introing the episode. So anyway, this is something that annoys the ever-living fuck out of me.
Oh.
And Jeff, you are a parent.
Yes.
Have you ever considered getting into the family vlogging biz?
Oh, fuck no. I mean, that is... my wife and I made a very conscious decision.
Yeah, I told you up from doing it. No!
It wasn't even anywhere near that accent.
Look, Borat's back, okay?
Is he? I mean, I know he won like an Oscar or a Golden Globe or something, but shit. My significant other.
There you go.
Thank you.
And I made a very conscious decision early on in our child's life that we were just like not gonna put him kind of out there in a way that you know, we just wouldn't do it deliberately. Like, he's been on a stream every now and then where he just like rolls into the room or whatever.
Yeah.
But so that I bring that up because it really flies in the face of like, oh my God, making a family vlog to me is a horrifying thing. It is not something that I would probably ever do. It's a pretty
but you could be like, what's up, guys? It's the back fam. You know,
fam.
You are back with the bacalaws.
There it is.
You know, look, like, do I think we're interesting? Sure. Is that just for the three of us? Yes. and that's really where it ends. I mean, you know what, though? Someone's going to see this and be like, oh, shut the fuck up, Jeff. You've streamed pinball with your family. So, like, what is that? And to you, I say, well, fuck you. That's just me playing pinball. That's not vlogging my entire life with my family. So
this is great. This is really good.
Get your shit together. Yeah.
It's exactly what you want to do. You want to antagonize your audience.
Yeah, I want to say, I want to look right in their eyes and say, fuck you, is what I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk about family vlogging and all that entails. Because, I mean, I think the conversation about putting your children on the internet is a huge and nuanced one that we're not necessarily going to delve into. Because, like, who am I to tell you don't put a picture of your kid on
you
Facebook
could do whatever you want.
Like, you can technically do whatever you want. I'm talking about the people who commodify both.
I'm familiar.
Both
commodify it.
It's like the people who are just like, we're gonna make our, you know, household lives a fucking sitcom, basically, and like edit it and make it a show that we monetize.
Yeah.
In lieu of having anything interesting to say, they just place every moment of their lives.
But the thing that gets me, it's not that they're doing that, because in a way, the three of us, we're online personalities or whatever the fuck you want to call it. We do elements of that, right? We put our lives out there to share it for the entertainment of others. However, I find the process of people doing that about their children, specifically making their kids the USP of their channel, is something that I find incredibly, incredibly icky. And the way that I got down this rabbit hole, and so for context, this episode was supposed to go out last week, but due to unforeseen circumstances, but I think the conversation is still relevant and still worth happening. It's because of this vlog that went viral a few weeks ago, and the title of the vlog was "We Are Heartbroken," and it was a video by Jordan Cheyenne.
Okay.
So the context, what you need to know for this video is Jordan and her 9-year-old son Christian are shooting a vlog in the car, and they just find out that their puppy has parvo and could potentially die. But she uploaded the video without editing it fully.
Okay.
And left this in.
Oh, Murder Island.
It's okay. Come here. Come here. Look at me. We have to do this. Look at me. She's going to be okay. Repeat this. Say, Rosie is healthy. Look at me. Rosie is healthy. Look at me. Rosie's beautiful. Rosie is
can't
strong.
watch this.
She is healthy. She will make it. She will make it. She will make it. It's crazy. No matter how much you know about positive mindset, law of attraction, it doesn't matter how much you're educated on that. When you're in the moment, it's still so hard to not feel sad. I'm gonna let you guys go. I need to go be there for Christian. I just wanted to give you an update because so many of you turned on the countdown reminders for my new video today and you wanted to see our big news. Please pray for her. I know she's gonna make it through. She's an amazing, beautiful little girl, and I can't wait for her to bring her home and be part of our family. So if you could pray for us, we appreciate it. I love you guys. Bye. Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer.
Oh my God.
Put your hand right here. Come closer.
Put this woman in jail.
Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Oh my. Oh, this
is extremely. This is just.
No, I know, but go like this.
This is
fucking awful. Like this. Put one hand up. Like
this. Put her in jail.
No, go like this.
Put her in jail. I'm sorry.
Like this.
Put this.
But let them see your mouth.
Where's Dyfus?
Let them see your mouth.
Look at this. Like,
I
this
can't. I can't.
We can stop it here. Let's stop it here.
I can't. This is worse than anything you've ever shown me.
It's awful.
Congrats. Congrats, Lucy.
This man has seen food in a toilet.
I have seen shit that will make you. Oh my
Last week he saw a flip flop made out of glue. Now he's.
I've seen food in toilets.
There was also that video that I sent you guys yesterday about the weird finger.
That was
So-
honestly that was great. Compared to this, that belongs in a fucking museum.
Yeah.
Who-
So
I mean, I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry for showing you that video.
Now, again, I realize I had a very intense reaction to it, but I
No.
genuinely think that's child abuse. For
This
sure.
but the thing about it is, this is something that evokes a visceral response, but it is a huge area of content production on the internet, like
Yeah.
massive. So we have no choice but to address it as a show that is being about online.
You're right. It's
you're
our
more
fucking
likely-
duty.
Yeah, you're as likely to run into this as you are cat pictures on the internet right now.
Mhm.
That's how prevalent family vlogging is.
Yeah.
I'm shook in a way that I was not prepared for. It's still early here on the East Coast, and I'm just I'm having a moment right now.
Mm.
It's very
So-
upsetting.
I mean,
Try and
I'm
pivot out
sorry.
of that.
I was gonna
Lucy.
say, I'm sorry for setting your Tuesday off on that foot. But this is why I wanted to talk about it because
Important work, yes.
Jordan had 500,000 subscribers at this point, and her channel was mostly beauty and style stuff. And that I will keep on using the phrase commodify their children, right? Because her channel, like, she's had it for years. She was vlogging, she was doing how-tos, and then she did a video about her son because he was a premature baby, and that's when everything kind of like kicked off for her. And that was one of the first videos of hers that went really, really viral. And so Jordan built this like business around herself, which, you know, you can be commended for. You know, she was doing meal prepping videos, weight loss videos. She had a weird like online social media business course you could do where it was called like Being a Girl Boss Academy, and teaching people in a way to become self-sustainable just based on their social media followings and stuff.
Okay.
And so everything about this, and obviously her son would feature a lot, and this was her full-time job. And after this video, you know, she was doing brand deals, whatever. She deactivated her YouTube, she deactivated her Instagram. She still has Twitter, but all she does on Twitter is, see, like everything in here is still linked, but her YouTube is gone. Is all she seems to do is like retweet The Secret,
This,
um,
Oh no.
like that
Yeah,
law of
what the
attraction
yeah.
stuff,
Oh,
and
what
like
no.
the fuck?
yeah, here you go, new videos up, meal prep, weekend stuff, vlogging.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I mean, this is the only form of her social media that's still up, but you know, 8,500 subscribers is like a drop in the pond compared to the 500,000 she had on YouTube and on her
So
Instagram.
she just destroyed the channel. She was just
She
like,
nuked it.
I
She
can't
nuked
come
it.
back from this. I will never recover from this.
I will.
and
I am
just-
never going to financially recover from
And
this.
Yeah.
just fucking, hit the button.
Yeah. So I read an article about it on Insider because obviously the fact that she nuked it and I was coming into this sort
So-
of after the fact,
And
it's
and-
difficult to go back and look at for her old stuff.
Of course. And the explanation, I mean, I guess who cares what the explanation is, but she's just like, she goofed and she just put up her
She
unedited
did.
video.
She did put up a classic YouTuber apology video.
Does
But
it begin
that-
with her going, this is really hard to do?
Yeah. I
Jordan Chan.
was thinking about this for a really long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't know how to do this. But here we go.
oh yeah, here you go. So there looks
I-
like a
I
couple.
am
This is she did do
not-
one. She did do one like immediately after, and then this one.
The most
this is-
pathetic apology video.
Well, this
on
is
YouTube.
that's the thing. The only thing you can find out now is like the editorialized
Reactions.
versions where and like
Yeah.
people have kind of gone. But so she did upload she uploaded a quick apology and then she went back and recorded like a longer one and uploaded it. But the damage had been done, and this is what kind of kicked off my interest. I have heard various sort of like family vlogger stuff, and it's it's been on the periphery of me as an internet user. I think you only ever
Yeah.
hear about it when shit goes really wrong.
Yeah.
There's also another family that I didn't find like a space to talk about in this episode, but if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, the Ace
These are
family are
The worst.
Jesus Christ. But they had a similar one where they left in an unedited thing of the dad yelling at the mum in front of the kids, and I mean, like, not to delve into their private life or anything, but it's like their USP is that they are this perfect family, right? And then to leave in that moment where it was genuinely like very quite shocking.
Well,
and
it's just
and
perfect.
really gross.
It
and, like,
perfectly exemplifies like what all social media is. The most inaccurate representation of anyone, right?
And like, I'm sure we'll get to it as well, but like, those kids don't have a private moment. They have
no.
They have they're. I mean, like, imagine being their classmates.
Oh, totally.
That can go so badly.
I mean, it's rough. It's super rough thinking about what that must be like. I mean, yeah, there. Quite honestly, like the YouTuber that you just showed me, it just sounds like there's almost like an addiction there too.
Yeah.
You know,
it's seeing what subject matter is, and we'll get to this because there's some stuff that I've uncovered that's just makes me mad uncomfortable. But yeah, family vlogging, kids being front facing on YouTube is like, there are some people who actively try and protect their kids, obviously online as kids, because kids want to be online, right?
Yeah.
They want to be on YouTube. They want to be the next ninja. They want to be doing all the stuff that they watch. They watch all these people do it, and then they want to do it, but they don't realize, they don't understand that the internet is forever. They don't understand who is watching their content or how it could it could ruin their lives in some regards.
Yeah, we talked about this in another episode, which is they don't have internet literacy, but they grow up being idolizing.
Most people don't,
Yeah,
let alone
most people
kids
don't.
under 18. I mean,
Yeah, for us, people like us, we grew up in an age where we learned how to use the internet, saw the pitfalls and perils of the internet, and then moved into a position where we put ourselves on the internet knowing that.
yeah.
Kids these days, they grow up and their
Kids
just
these
default
days.
is their default is, I'm going to be on the internet, before they've learned any hard lessons about being on the internet.
Totally.
And
Like,
worse still is when their parents put them on the internet without their consent, which is what we're coming to.
yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, again, like my kid's having a unique childhood, right? Because
Get a load of hot dog fingers.
you know, of what I do, but he's already, I mean, he's 6 and he's already at the point where he's like, we should stream this. Or like, you know, like he has that knee-jerk reaction of like, this seems like something that would be good. Of course, he can't do it, and he's just sitting there with, you know, saying stuff, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if every parent would have the same sort of reaction.
Yeah. And so, I mean, let's delve into it. I've kind of identified from a sort of 3-prong approach about why it makes me incredibly uncomfortable. And the first prong is consent and legality. The bottom line is kids cannot consent to be in videos like that, you know, especially under the age of 10. I would argue under the age of like 15 as well.
Sure.
It's like they don't understand what they're getting themselves in for. I think one thing that is a perfect example of this, and this includes kids who are a bit older, they're college age, but one of the big fears for me about being on the internet, I'm sure I've said it on the show before, is that like becoming a meme that spirals out of your control. So Tam, you have experience here because the video of you reacting with Kiki, your cat, you know, reading Trump tweets, that went mega viral, and it ended up like
in
all
some
over the
horrible
place.
places.
Yeah.
It ended up in some really weird places, and I had no control over that, and I couldn't do anything about it. There were some things where it's straight up illegal, and it's the kind of thing that cops would put you in jail for. Images or like subject matter depicted in comics that my face is now alongside. And there's no predicting for that, or there's no stopping that.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the other example I wanted to use is this recent TikTok meme of Couch Guy. And these are kids who are in college, and it's a girl who goes to visit her boyfriend in college. And the internet basically turned detective on it, believing that this guy had was cheating, right? The fact that he sat on the couch next to a couple of girls. And like there are thousands and thousands and thousands of videos of people just like mocking this poor couple. You know, she was there to do a sweet thing. It's not even clear at all if he's cheating on her. Like, and it's just the internet kind of, I think the worst part of the internet, right? It's like this need to be in everyone's business and kind of dissect it and mock it.
Right.
And so imagine if you're making videos with your kids, right? And so you're kind of subjecting them to that. But anyway, that was a little tangent about like the fact that anything can blow up on the internet at any time.
Sure.
But when it comes to consent and legality, is you'll notice that a lot of these families kind of are like, oh, you know, the kids aren't working, they're performing, they love to perform, and that means that these kids are not protected by child labor laws. And I'm not saying that like hanging out with your family is work, although in some cases, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Tell me about it.
like, so the thing is that these channels are made and they are insanely successful. Like the Ace family that I mentioned earlier, they have 19 million subs on YouTube. They have a $7 million mansion. And also, from the sounds of it, the dad is a piece of shit. But you know, that's for a different time. You
don't say.
Oh god, yeah. There's like cheating rumors. There's rumors that he's getting sued for a bunch of stuff for not paying. It sounds like they're defaulted. Anyway, that's again a tangent. But anyway, these kids are not protected, and so they're not covered by the Coogan Act or the California Child Actors Bill, which is set to protect kids from exploitation and, most importantly, to safeguard a portion of their earnings for when they get older. That doesn't apply to kids who are part of these vlogging families online. And so if you run a toy unboxing account or a Beyblade account, you know,
there he is.
I run a Beyblade family room.
yeah.
that I
So
can
like,
tell you all about.
What was his name again? The Beyblade lad?
It's like Beyblade
no.
Kid or something.
Yeah.
That's what my kid said. He's like, we should stream Beyblades, and I was just like, that's a great idea, but no.
But this is the thing. So
It's gonna annoy
kids
me
can't
now.
make an AdSense account.
Yeah.
Kids can't make a PayPal account. So that money goes to the parents. And it's like, I know this is probably, you know,
Blast Zone Kid.
Blast Zone Kid. Thank
There he
you.
is. We had a couple of days where we were obsessed with this kid doing Beyblade.
He did. He was really good at
He was
Beyblades,
very
and
good,
he made this documentary about how he went to a Beyblade tournament, and it was like really, really well produced.
That's cool.
And then he pivoted to Fortnite and his
Yeah, he
career
did.
tanked.
Oh.
So I'm not trying to say that I'm like seeing the worst case scenario every time, although secretly I'm always seeing the worst case scenario. There was a story on Intelligencer, which is a part of NY Mag, about a girl who was 13 and she ran this doll review channel, and it started picking up steam, and she begged her mum to like open an AdSense account for her, and the channel was monetized, and she had like 100,000 subscribers, growing, making tons of money. And then eventually her mum was like, seeing that she was getting a few $1,000s a month from brand deals, from AdSense revenue, and her mum was like, well, I'm owed some of that money because I set this up for you. And then the mum started asking for more and more and more money. And then she was pressuring her daughter to work harder and harder and harder. And eventually the kid just like moved out and moved in with her dad. And then eventually it took years, but she managed to gain control of the account back. And so this is a good article on about it. Also an incredible header image of the cool mum from...
That's very strong. That's very strong.
The cool mum from Mean Girls. But anyway, so that was a story that I read about, and I was like, God, can you imagine doing that to your kid? Like monetizing their passion and then taking it all off them?
Yeah. That's pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
And like we said, the kid has no awareness. Like, the sad thing is kids trust their parents like completely. So that girl is probably like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Until you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm old enough to understand what's going on. Or someone needs to step in on you on the kid's behalf. And who's out there looking after these kids?
It's a very difficult situation, right?
Like,
how do you get in between that? And you're right. Like when you're under, even people in their early 20s who are like super dependent or have this, thought in their head, this sometimes illusion of like their infallible parents. It's like you can't sort of undo that for some, people.
Yeah, and so it's an icky one. I'm not saying that every family is like that, obviously, but that is the
Yeah.
risk that you take. Um, but then there's the families who take even more of an interest in their kids' lives and finances, and so they do things under the guise of content, which most people would find completely unacceptable. So let's go take a look at
Oh no.
Fitzfam.
No, what are you doing?
Sienna is a brat and has no morals. I'm literally... I am fascinated that someone has managed to come to that conclusion.
No morals?
That is fascinating.
Naughty girl!
Sienna literally teaches us stuff. This is the kid who said she
So
wanted to give away...
the thing about this video,
Look at
I
that
think
kid's
there's another
face,
one.
man.
Here you
Look
go.
at that kid's
scraping
face.
across
Like
the
she's
blackboard.
she's
Get
being
a
made
life, please.
a joke
You
of
don't deserve
by her parents.
1 million subscribers. See you, suckers.
So it's like the whole thing is the reading mean tweets.
Yeah.
But to your kids, like telling this kid, he has like what, 8?
This is a like streamlined bullying pipeline.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
This is the kind of thing that kids come home from school from and being like, someone said this to me, and you're supposed to protect them from it or help them get over it. Here they've got parents just leveraging the internet's horrible behavior.
Yeah, like I feel like, yeah, why not just make fun of that baby too?
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk shit
Do
about
it.
that
I
baby.
think there is at some point. Like I didn't want to. I kind of flicked through.
Like,
this
what's the
'cause
difference?
honestly,
What's
there's
the
like
difference-
some stuff. Oh, here we go. Where it's like it's expletives. Like this channel is and you like ugly faces. I wish my name wasn't Sienna and her big sis. Ooh, she ugly Americans.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
And so obviously, like he's bleeping out the expletives, but he is still telling his kids that this is what people online are saying about them.
Yeah.
And so I know that like through my use of the internet, you certainly, you have certain instances where you remember just how shitty people can be. But imagine like you telling your kids and like, that the part of the job of a parent like is to protect your kids from stuff like that. And then doing this in the name of hashtag content.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me is that like he censors the swear words, but you are telling your kids by reading these comments to them that is telling your kids that I care more about the opinions of these strangers on the internet who watch us than I care about your well-being.
And you're doing it with a smile on your face because that's what the content demands. Like you can't be sad about it. You need to make it entertaining. Like that is a traumatizing experience for the kid, if not in the moment, but in the time that will follow. Like, are they paying for that kid to then see a therapist
I was just
about
gonna
all that
say,
stuff?
yeah,
Because I doubt it very much. Like that kid is, how parents are, where they think, oh yeah, thick skin, don't worry about it. It's just a kid. No, that's not how it works. That kid's going to be damaged by that.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be plenty of office therapy time in their future for sure.
And it's like that's the part of it where it makes me feel very, very icky. I think the ickiest thing as well is like, so in that regard, you are exposing your kids to that side of the internet. The other part of it is
with also like no frame of reference. Like it's one thing if you're a grown ass adult, right? And like, that's the exposure, right? Like that's what the age is. You do it to a little, like you are completely compromising their understanding of the world. Like, what are you doing, you crazy assholes? What on earth are you doing?
And it's just like, I remember when I was a kid, if my mum said like, oh, your Auntie Pauline said you were really cheeky yesterday, I would be mortified.
Yeah, it's just so dumb.
Yeah, you're giving your kids such a weird view. And maybe they'll argue that this is them preparing their kids for the real world and stuff. But I just think it's a shitty way of, using your kids' reactions as content. Like, and especially the caps, you made them cry.
That's what it is. It's it's just straight up child abuse. There's no other way to put it. Like you are like, you are stripping away the fact that they are people, right?
Yeah.
And you see them as a commodity that you've been able to monetize, and you're a
Well-
fucked up motherfucker.
And it's all good on YouTube. Can't have the can't believe you've done this meme, by the way, but we can have this.
Well, that's. I mean, let's speak
I mean-
about YouTube because first of all, luckily, Can't Believe You've Done This has been
He's back,
reinstated.
thankfully.
But it only took half of the internet saying, "Please don't take this away from us. It's all we have." YouTube pedophiles on YouTube are a huge problem. They used to be an enormous problem because YouTube didn't fucking do anything. Back in 2017, there's different kind of layers of it. Back in 2017, people would just leave comments and they would leave phone numbers for WhatsApp groups to try and connect with other pedophiles, and they would just comment on videos of kids and just be disgusting and hugely inappropriate. And in classic big internet style, YouTube didn't do anything until Mars, Lidl, and Adidas all pulled adverts to try and obviously because they didn't want their adverts in front of videos that kids were getting preyed on in the comments, right? And so 2 years later, YouTube then changed it to say that they were turning off comments on all videos featuring under 18s to protect kids because while the kind of the filters were better, they were still leaving their phone numbers and they would timestamp like when you could see a kid's leg or something. Or
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, it was fucking disgusting. And so YouTube then said, okay, we're going to use an AI and we'll figure out if there are any children in this video. We'll turn off all comments. And there's another thing where when you're setting up a YouTube channel, if you set it up and it's for kids, all of your comments are turned off by default. There's a lot of, I didn't want to get into this too much because I think it's kind of like a given if you're talking about kids on the internet, as fucking awful as that is, right? But yeah, there was a really huge investigation as well about how the algorithm works and how the pedophile networks were using YouTube comments from a couple years ago. It is a really just fucking tiring and upsetting read. But I wanted to bring it up here because obviously if you are putting your entire kid's life on the internet, you are putting them in a way in like risking that audience finding your kids.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
And like the thing is like what may look innocuous to a normal person, these people have a way of kind of circulating it secretly. The timestamps is just one way of they did that. But then there was a period where the algorithm was being manipulated so that you could click on a series of videos that they would signify. And before you know it, you're dumped into this kid's kind of pool of content. And that's exactly what they wanted. And a lot of that stuff becomes harder to detect because you also had the rise of weird adults making strange content that's directly targeted at kids. Like Spider-Man and Elsa meet Shrek and go on an adventure. And it's like very strange stuff happening where, you know, Elsa is being spanked by Spider-Man and like it's strange shit like that. And they figure this stuff out to try and push weird perverts like them into certain corners where they can be safe and happy.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's fucking terrifying. And let's, not dwell on it too long, but that's part of the reason why I find family vloggers incredibly icky. But the other thing is, and we've kind of hinted at it, but it's the fact that they don't seem to know when to stop when it comes to hashtag content. And so I brought up Family Fizz. Hashtag FizzFam.
No,
their
thank you.
videos are
I don't want that.
lot.
Please. No, thank you.
So I kind of brought them up because they are the perfect sort of embodiment of this problem. So Family Fizz, 2.35 million subscribers. 3-year-old gets her ears pierced. Worst reaction ever.
Great.
So if you sort by most popular of all time, 10 million views.
What?
13-year-old wears pregnancy bump for a day. This one, though, I started my period, mum. 14-year-old wears a pregnancy bump.
Please don't. Please
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is the kind of ridiculous, awful shit that it genuinely feels like criminal behavior to
Yeah.
be doing
Oh,
this to a child.
100%.
Like, I'm putting them through it.
So this period one, I watched it. I like flicked through it because they kind of also do a thing where they want to make the video as long as possible to get like ad revenue and
Yeah.
mid-roll and everything. And so this is like a 15-minute long video, and I was like skimming through it, and it's they try and act like it is a spontaneous, natural thing, but it feels so planned. It's really icky. So this girl is filming, and she goes, her mum's putting makeup on because they're going to the hairdressers or something, and she's like, Mum, I've started my period. And then her mum was like, does the thing where it goes, oh, you can turn the camera off if you want, you don't have to. But it feels so fake. And then the kid goes, well, no, I wanted to do it on camera. And then the mum's like, oh, you're so brave. But that to me is not bravery. That's not trying to destigmatize anything about menstrual health or anything. That is a kid who has grown up learning that they won't get attention or nothing in their life really matters unless they capture it on camera. That is what that screams to me.
Yeah.
Like, because, and again, I remember when I was a teenager and all that stuff was happening, the last thing I fucking wanted to do was A, talk to my mum about it, or B, talk to anyone about it. Because it's such an intensely personal thing. And it's like, especially when you're like figuring yourself out and you've got all these millions of people watching you. And it's just like,
Yeah, I mean, this family's just fucking damaged, straight up. Like,
yeah, I mean, like it's the thing that I come back to is it's so unfair to grow up in front
Oh
of
my
that
God.
many people. Like,
Mhm.
you can't make mistakes. You can't.
yeah,
You can't learn life. Like
You're-
the amount of stupid things I've done in private that have been important life lessons to me.
yeah,
mhm.
It's incalculable.
yeah.
And
I mean,
as it is for many people, to have to do that on camera means you are going to be the subject of ridicule or at least discussion, and the life lesson you gain from it is probably not the one that you needed at that time.
Yeah. And
yeah,
now,
this-
though, this kid, she's like 16 now. So 3 years ago, she'd have been, 13, 14. She's doing a video called Top 5 Boob Struggles.
no.
Oh my God.
Trying
No.
to look 18, crazy transformation, which is just
I mean,
my first
God,
time using a tampon store. It's like,
Well,
Family
I'm-
vloggers, eh? Like
yeah,
that's the other thing to discuss. Like Lucy brings it up, but like family vlogging is a pipeline it's like an unstoppable treadmill, basically. Once you're on it, you can't get off it. That kid
Mhm.
has gone from being in a family vlog where the parents have, for all intents and purposes, manipulated her life into being on camera. And so the natural step for her is to then put her life
Totally.
on its entirety on camera for others to enjoy or peer into. And it's when you kind of couple that with the kind of parasocial relationships that are quickly developing left, right, and center on the internet, and that is a recipe for a generation of people that are going to be massively damaged. And I know we sound like, old man yells at cloud right now,
Yeah.
but there's no talking around it. There's going to be, like, I'm very online and I encourage people that I know, like I have younger brothers who I have helped get online and guided them through it. I love the idea of kids, figuring things out and going online, but at their own pace. This isn't at their own pace. This is a parent exploiting their child and then putting them on this kind of track where
Right.
they don't have the, again, internet literacy
and it's their
to
reality.
understand how it works, and it
Mhm.
becomes their reality. And also
Yeah.
it means that what happens when when people move on like that, she's not going to be popular forever.
Oh fuck.
Like, what happens when
Yeah.
people have decided they don't care about her anymore? She's going to be a grown ass woman who is just like in a situation completely unique to herself and won't have a lot of support or people with relevant experiences to help guide her through it. 2 will have to learn all these hard lessons in isolation. Because I guarantee you, her parents ain't gonna care. Like,
Well, it's weird as well. It's like we are filming this on Tuesday for folks watching at home, and so yesterday was the blackout, right?
Mm.
And it's like I wonder what the hashtag influencer landscape would even look like, and if that's the only thing that you know, right? And it's like that's what my life is gonna be. But you see all this stuff, and it's like it's you see the parallels between child stars, grew up on TV, and it's like everything that they went through, and all of the the down to earth moments they would have when they weren't like they couldn't get booked for jobs anymore because they were a bit older, and it's like, what's that next wave of that gonna look like for these kids who've grown up on the internet in this way? It's very, very weird.
This is gonna be a generation of, that video where that like paparazzi is like in Kanye West's house as he's going into the garage, and he's like, "Hey, good morning, Kanye," and Kanye just goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
That is what it's gonna be like for a generation of people now. And it's just sad. Like there's no moment of privacy. Like the worst part of it is this kind of level of privacy invasion was for a significant period of time, just exclusive to the upper echelon of celebrity, right? You had to reach a certain point where people gave enough of a shit in your life, and other people took on the risk of invading that privacy for it to happen. Like you had the Madonnas, the big celebrities, the AAA listers. And those are people who are in a position where they can take countermeasures against it because they have teams, money, and to a degree, the legal system and courts on their side. Like you start stepping into Kanye West's spot and he takes you to court, and then you get an injunction and the cops will reinforce that.
Yeah.
We are now in a generation or in a society where that same level of privacy invasion is afforded to kids and young people who do not have that celebrity. They do not have
it's even
those
more
safeguards.
aggressive,
And it's
right?
way more aggressive because the cops don't care about Joe Schmo and his kids. Like they have no interest in protecting those people. The courts aren't going to get behind it. Joe Schmo and his kids aren't going to be able to hire a security team. And that is a incredibly dangerous scenario that we're like hurtling towards or are in right now, where kids are basically on the same level as celebrities, the most well-known celebrities, when it comes to the ability and the kind of invitation to invade their privacy. That's mad.
But it is the same. They're not, I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive. I think all of this comes from a fundamental obsession with fame.
Yeah.
And I think like it all sort of grew out of that petri dish of like having to be so self-obsessed and being obsessed with people. I think there is something in our brains that loves that shit. And I think all of this stuff just tugs away at that. And
and like to be clear, like the parents are responsible for not making that, whether that personality trait appears or not, like a natural thing. They are creating that personality trait in people.
Cultivating it.
Yeah, they're cultivating it. And like parents, like there should be a regulatory body on this stuff, and there should be people being like, that's not on. Like that's not trying. Like, don't put your kids online until they are a certain age where they can sign this document to say, I agree to being online.
Yeah. But I mean, like we've discussed in the show before, right? Is that the law is so far behind when it comes
it's always
to
playing
stuff
catch
like
up. And that's with everything. The law, like regulation will always play catch up forever. It's like, do you ever see a time where like we will be able to get out ahead of the psychotic evolution of social media? It'll never happen.
No. Especially not when it generates revenue for the people and the people who operate it. Like this stuff is not going anywhere because it's a massive content area and it earns a lot of money. Like Lucy talked about earlier, it took big conglomerations pulling out of advertising for YouTube to be like, maybe we should make life a bit harder for pedophiles.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Forget it. This cat is out of the bag.
Yeah.
The internet done did it.
Yeah. And so I mean the kind of last facet of this is talking about parents going too far, and it wouldn't be a video about family vloggers without mentioning Daddy of 5. That piece of shit. 2017, Daddy of 5 is a popular channel, 750,000 subs. It's him and his wife, and they have a blended family, so he has kids from one marriage, she has kids from another relationship. And the stuff that banged for them were these prank videos, my fave. But the victim of all of the pranks would be their youngest son.
What?
And what? Yeah.
One specific son.
One specific son.
Fuck?
And they would yell at him, encourage the other kids to beat him up. There's one video where they would break his Xbox in front of him. And the ending of most of the videos was the dad standing over this kid and going, "It's just a prank, bro." While the kid is like crying and begging for his dad
Shut
to
the
stop.
fuck up.
This was fucking awful.
And it's all real.
And all real. And the way that this blew up, and like Philip DeFranco is an internet legend in many regards, but like he did a video where he was like, "I'm not going to monetize this video at all because I don't believe in monetizing, kids in trouble."
Yeah, kid trauma.
Kid trauma. And he basically like blew up the whole spot. And the CPS was called, and Cody and his sibling were taken away from the family, and they were put back in the custody of their mother. And I believe there was some form of injunction or restraining order placed to prevent Cody from being in any future videos because they documented child abuse and were monetizing it.
They documented their own abuse of their child.
And the reason why, when I was talking about Jordan Cheyenne earlier, is because when folks make it their business, like their livelihood, they will always find a way to come back. And I would be very, very surprised if she didn't try and come back in some regard. But Daddy of 5, the Martin family it was intense the way they kept trying to come back. They tried doing Mummy of 5, a spin-off channel. They tried having a SoundCloud, a Twitch. They even paywalled content on their own website. Their own website, by the way, is there's a lot going on.
Okay.
So it's like ads.
This is very, very not very pleasing to the eyes.
Our fans are part of our family.
They haven't even heard of Squarespace. Not even once.
Didn't even want to go there.
Didn't know what
our
Squarespace
newest
was.
journey. You can pay to turn off ads.
This is a fucking nightmare. Okay.
Yeah. And then they have like their own thing. But now they also they're back on YouTube eventually after years. And all of their stuff now is we got COVID again. Ryan has COVID. And so they're still making these videos just without Cody now.
So who are they making fun of now?
Their other 4 children.
Okay.
And they've had another one. So 2 of the kids were taken away, and they've had this other new one.
Yeah, they just made another one. I get it.
Pumping out kids so you can keep this awful abuse train
pumping
rolling.
out the punchlines.
Bringing children into the world, creating human life so that you can build content around it. Content that hinges on aggressively demeaning and abusing their children.
So you see here, they started off by just doing the kids. And then, there's a we need to talk. And then, the dad's a big surprise. Where's Daddy of 5? Here, they've started kind of coming back in.
So CPS literally comes in, snatches their youngest kid away, and then they're like, we gotta figure out how to keep going.
Those were the kids who they would encourage to beat up the youngest one.
What the fuck?
So it's like, I don't really have like an ending for this episode other than just the whole thing makes me incredibly depressed.
Let me ask you this, okay? Because I have so many questions. There's questions / concerns. Like, how many successful like family garbage vloggers are there still prolifically like making money and whatnot?
Where does this live?
I mean,
where do you think?
Quite a few.
Yeah, and that means there are tons more trying to do this.
Yes, that's the thing. For you only really need one successful
family.
one. You need one successful family,
and that's it.
And then you have new starts coming up trying to emulate it. And how do they emulate it? They emulate it by looking at the successful ones and emulating the content type. So it's just creating this example of, hey, if you make your kids cry for every moment of their life on the internet, you can be where we are. It's the same as anyone who decides, I want to do Let's Plays. You look at the best or the most successful Let's Players and you copy them.
Right.
So these people are going to be looking at the most well-known and successful or the most talked about family vloggers and doing the same thing, which is making life real shitty for their kids.
But like, look at this. It's like 8 passengers, LeBrant family, Ace family. It's like, these are the... I'm not saying that all family vloggers are wrong. I definitely have issues with a lot of family vlogging, but like there are, you know, folks who are there to look out for their kids and raise money for them. But like the really, really big ones are always, look at this.
Oh
fucking
my
hell.
fuck.
That's grandma's funeral.
What the fuck? That says family fun pack. Goodbye, grandma. What on earth?
Let's not watch that just in case.
We have
I do not put it past
gone-
one of these morons to just put a camera in a dead family member's face. So,
we're gone. We're gone bye-bye. That's it.
Yeah.
Game over.
Game
And
over,
so
man.
it's like,
Game fucking over with these psychotic people. Are you
excuse
kidding me?
600, and this is why when I mentioned the pedophile stuff earlier, look at this.
Holy
half a
shit.
billion views? Where the fuck is this all coming from? That's algorithm gone mad. This shouldn't have happened. Like these kids swimming
Forget
24 hours with 5 kids on a summer day, 131 million views.
Go
Something
move
is incredibly wrong there.
to an island if you can, and just wait it out.
Basically, the lesson we're trying to convey is there is way more to this, to the idea of putting yourself on the internet than you can ever imagine. So when you kind of take that and apply it to a child, it's exponentially more. Like, don't put kids on the internet. Don't put your kids on the internet. And if you see this shit happening, like, do not engage with it, because you kind of like feed the algorithm when you click this stuff. And it's designed to try and get you to click it. People will put insane shit on there so you will click it, and that is enough to kind of juice the algorithm in a specific way. So just disengage with it. I mean, actively hit dislike on it if you want to. But like, do not, because by doing
I think that
like,
does something to the algorithm too.
Yeah, true. There's no really escaping it. But that is like that whole branch of YouTube content or internet content is ruining lives in a significant way.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no neat way of segueing out of that.
No, there's not.
That was, you know, I made myself mad.
But look,
going down that rabbit hole.
It's important to shed light on. It's important to talk about, especially for people who maybe had not, for whatever reason, considered this side of that story.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, it looks innocent, it looks playful, but it is, and it's probably something that you've probably seen in passing scrolling through YouTube and just really haven't thought about, because it does look innocuous.
Right. So now think about it.
Now you know. Now we have ruined another corner of the internet for you. Apologies once again.
Sorry.
We keep topping the previous one.
Look, our intent was to help people understand the internet better.
I thought we were just gonna do memes, you guys, but
no, that's what everyone's thought.
I mean, I have made myself sad, so I would like to do some memes.
You know what? I'll try and come up with something fun for the next one, okay?
Thank you.
I mean,
but we did say at the beginning, like, we were going to go into all corners of the internet, and everyone said they're just going to talk about memes. I bet you wish we did now. I bet you wish we did now.
Yeah, well, me personally, I could use one, but like we said just before, it's important to shed light on this stuff from an educational standpoint.
Okay.
Because part of being on the internet is being, like you put it, internet literate, and that's very important. Turns out the vast majority of people are not.
I'll give you the history of Pepe the Frog.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well, maybe like, can we do one that's not that corner of the internet? Let's.
boy.
I don't know. Maybe there's no answer. I don't know.
Find out next week on the next episode of the Very Online Show. In the meantime, you can find us all on Twitter. I am at Tamor H. Lucy, where you at?
I'm at Lucy James Games.
Jeff?
I'm at Jeff Bacalar.
Send us
Still-
some
Begrudgingly.
Send us some good memes, please.
Yeah.
Send
us
some
good
nice memes, please.
Wholesome memes. Where are the wholesome memes at?
Yeah.
And we'll see what we can do for you next week. Bye, everyone.